interesting last night when I was sleeping in the trailer, somebody like tried pulling the door handle, so that was a little sketchy, but then they just walked off. Nothing came of that, but everything's going good. We're back on the road, left Salt Lake City. We're cruising up towards Idaho, almost to the border. The mountains are pretty impressive here. So just another day of driving, and hopefully this evening we'll get to our destination, Bonneville Dam, right outside of Portland, Oregon. Tomorrow we'll be fishing. Appreciate this wonky look. Hey buddy, how you doing? How you doing there, bud? Wacky looking horns, huh? Right on top. How are you doing? Look at that. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to Oregon. Finally reached our destination. Now we just got to drive across the state. So that's the Snake River back there. Pretty classy area for fishermen, trout fishermen and whatnot. Hit this welcome center. We'll whip up some coffee and get across this thing. Let's do this. So I got a fishing and a hunting license. Now the fishing is a non-res. It looks like 7 days, $93. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then the full season is 110. Maybe I'll do like
Annual angling is 110.50. Is that what you want?
yeah.
Okay. Is that it?
No, so then I'm gonna get the turkey license. That's archery.
So you get your angling license, Columbia River Basin Indoor angling tag, hunting license, parking permit, and turkey spring tag. Is that it?
You do any turkey hunting?
I've already killed a couple.
Is this better spot than Western Oregon? Is it? For
The
turkey?
only good thing in Western Oregon is cougar hunting most of the time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Angling, hunting, wildlife parking permit, combined angling tag for your. That's this. So if you keep them, you have to tag them. Even if you don't keep them, you have to have that.
Okay.
Columbia River Bay and turkey spring tag. And that's your parking permit.
So what's this for? Public land hunting or something? Or?
No, get a synopsis. There you go. Give that to the gals up there, and you have to pay up there. Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys be good.
We just paid $448 for fishing licenses and turkey hunting licenses. So now we're definitely turkey hunting because there's a lot of hidden fees, a lot of extra shenanigans like Columbia River Basin endorsements for the sturgeon fishing, sturgeon tags, all this extra stuff. Even after buying the licenses, I was thinking, you know, maybe we better put more emphasis on this turkey thing because they cost so much, you know. It's not like a whim. You can't go on a whim and spend $200 for turkey license. But what's really more interesting is an update here. We're kind of on the eastern side of Oregon, and the guy selling the licenses said this is where it's at for turkey hunting. And then we just bumped into a random guy on the sidewalk. He saw our trailer and he's like, oh, what are you guys doing? You're just filming YouTube videos and all this? And he told us that there's a lot of turkeys about 2 hours west of here, and he says they're just everywhere out there. So we're definitely going out there, and we're definitely going to do some turkey hunting before we go out to the Columbia River fishing, because the Columbia River, the next 2 days are rainy where we were going to fish, and then here the next 2 days are sunshine and clear. So we're definitely going to go out and give this turkeys a whirl, see if we can strike one up even this evening. Honestly, it would be nice to locate it for you where they're roosting. Just total change of plans. I mean, it's not that big of a difference. We're going through here anyway, so we'll just sleep a couple hours west of here where there's turkeys and maybe turkey hunt tomorrow morning. Kind of pumped about this.
Yeah, out of nowhere, random tip.
Yeah, so
He's like, yeah, what do you say? You can't throw a
rock. He said you can't throw a rock without hitting a turkey out there. So now it's a definite. We're out of here. I'm up here in the mountains at a campsite I found. Very remote, there's no phone signal or anything, so I'm gonna pull out my bow and arrow and do some target shooting, make sure the sights are good here before we go turkey hunting. confidence boost. Take a few more shots since it's so cold and snowy here. I'm not gonna spend too much time, but I want to test out a few different distances, make sure I'm really dialed in here. I am dialed in. Killing some turkeys. All right, another morning. It's gonna be our first morning trying to locate some turkeys. It's about 5:30, we woke up at 5. It's chilly, it was like 38 degrees, I think, last night. Here we are camping pretty legit now. We're pretty far off the main trail. Hopefully we can hear them gobbling. I'm just gonna go around and try and strike one up here. And then what we'll try and do is ask for permission. Hopefully we can locate a few different ones, ask people for permission, hunt some on private land, because there's this whole river valley down here and it's all privately owned. Now there's public land up in the mountains, but I don't think the turkeys are up in the mountains because it's actually pretty cold. There's even some snow up there we saw yesterday. So that's the plan. Hopefully it works out. We'll see what happens. We'll just keep chasing these adventures, you know, you never know. All right, little update. Patrick was video editing back at camp and I spent a bunch of time driving around here asking for permission. I think that's the way to go here in this area. I had some people that were like, you know, not interested, saying no. I had some people that weren't home, just a bunch of stuff. But eventually I found a really nice farmer. His name is Roger. He owns a ton of property. And he said the turkeys, they were actually imported into here. He said initially they had Miriam turkeys and they didn't do very well. They weren't very successful. And then they brought Rio Grande turkeys into this area and they just exploded with population. So he said they're way overpopulated. There's turkeys everywhere. And he's like, he knows all about them. He's like, oh, right now they're probably on nests. And I'm like, yeah, that's this time of year. You know, that's when the gobblers are out looking around for those lone hens that haven't quite been bred. So he knew what he was talking about. He also said the turkeys aren't really down in the river bottom as much as you would think right now. They're right up on the tree line. You know, there's like this river bottom and then there's this plains and then there's trees up on the mountains. He says they're right on that edge of that tree line. So he gave me permission to basically open up gates, drive across his property, and drive up to the tree line. It's so cold, he says they're not really gobbling right now, but he says normally they're gobbling like crazy. So it sounds really good. He's only got one other guy who hunts this property. It's a police officer. He gave me that guy's number, but the guy didn't pick up the phone. But he's already shot 2 birds this year. But it sounds like there's so many, it shouldn't be a problem. So really excited about this because I feel like this is what we need in order to really be successful out here. Get a nice piece of property that we have access to and go from there. So we're gonna go set up the blind, cart all our gear in there, probably park a little bit further back and walk in. He told me where to park and where we should walk in and explore. So because they're not really gobbling in this cold weather, sounds like we're just looking for scratching and sign and feathers and things like that. Hopefully we don't freeze out there. We didn't bring a lot of warm clothes. I wasn't expecting it to basically be snowing. But yeah, let's go get a turkey. I mean, the funniest part to me about this whole thing was when I went to this farmer's place that he said he'd already heard about me asking permission from everybody. It's such a small town. It's 1,000 people or less if I remember right. So word gets around quick. This is the first day, the first afternoon. I started asking permission at noon. It's 2:20 and this farmer had already heard about me.
Only touch the bottom out a little.
Bottom out a touch. Not too bad though. a long ways, at least for the amount of gear we're carrying. We've pretty much exhausted our opportunities in this direction. We saw some turkey sign, a bunch of droppings quite a ways back, and it was pretty consistent. There wasn't a ton of it. It wasn't super fresh, but there was some here, some here, some here. There's not really a lot back in these pine trees, so we're gonna actually turn around and go back to some of the better spots that we saw and set up on them for the evening. It's the best we've got so far. Tomorrow morning, hopefully we hear some gobbles, maybe even hear some gobbles this evening, but it's pretty unlikely at this point, I feel like, because it seems like there's no fresh sign. There's plenty of old sign, no fresh sign yet. Keep working. All right, so a little update from the coffee shop here. Super interesting. I was talking to the woman behind the desk. First of all, she saw 80 turkeys yesterday, and she told me right where they were. She said there was so many hundreds of them down here. This spring, they're trapping them. The state is trapping the turkeys, and they're relocating them up into the mountains. That's why we're not seeing them, dude. They're like mass trapping them because they're like ravaging the fields. So that's some huge information. Now we gotta go. She told me right where the 80 that she saw yesterday was. And it sounds like permission's pretty easy to come by because people are so fed up with the overpopulation of the turkeys here. So that's the update for today. Private land, but middle of nowhere. But hey, not just turkeys, gobblers. Of course, they can gobble back. That's the telling, eh? It's good to see some finally. Back to the drawing board a little bit. Lots of ups and downs. Like, people are telling us there's birds everywhere. We're narrowing it down. We're getting closer and closer, but we're really not seeing the birds, so it's tough going.
Right.
And every time I drive by there, I see turkeys. So, you know, I was going to ask your permission to bow hunt on that piece for 2 days if possible.
I don't usually let people go, so.
Okay.
I mean,
I knew it was a little bit of a long shot. I heard that you're a hunter, right?
yep, I am. So, yeah, I just kind of, I've got a lot of employees, so I don't usually let people, but it's nothing personal. It just,
Sure.
yeah, I don't let people go, so.
Sure, no worries. Yeah, I just wanted to check. Do you have any other suggestions in terms of where I can find them?
You know, anywhere up and down the river, there's turkeys. You'll run into the right place at some point.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, Ross.
No worries.
All right, take care. Our best lead gone out the window there. It's worth a try. At least he picked up, talked. You know, his property right up next to yours?
Uh-huh.
I mean, he's got a whole pack of them right there. Every day we've driven by it, but I've called him and he says, no, I can't let you hunt there. He's got employees and he hunts and all this kind of. But I was gonna see if you wouldn't mind if I hunted that piece back in that corner. The field that's got the fence around it there.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like I can call those turkeys across the creek there. Just.
Right. Yeah, I would like to say yes, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
My son's got garlic planted out there, and he's in and out of all that, and so is his friends. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we see the garden there too. I thought maybe you'd want to get rid of the turkeys because they're probably getting into those gardens, huh?
Well, they were, and then they disappeared, and
Well, I heard from somebody in town that they're actually trapping them.
The Fish and Game Department was trapping a bunch.
And then like releasing them somewhere else, or
yeah, they're taking them. They were taking them over towards Mitchell, going towards Redmond and Bend.
Okay.
I know they trapped a bunch because they had the trap boxes. They had a flatbed tractor trailer hauling the traps out
Oh.
as they were filling them up. Hey, this is Dawn. Sorry,
Hey,
missed your
Dawn.
call.
Oh, no, that's my bad. I just was in the mountains here a little bit. Lost my signal.
Yeah, you're welcome to come down and hunt on our place if you want.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I will tell you, last weekend and the weekend before, we've already had hunters come out
Okay.
and get
Yeah.
some turkeys set on.
Hey, good.
Can't
Okay.
guarantee there'll be anything over there, but
Sure. Well, it's
I definitely
honestly
hear them over there. So
that, right? So now I get the struggle is real.
yeah,
But
especially
hey,
when
man,
you're coming from that far. So
yeah. Again, I really appreciate it. I'll keep you posted.
all right, certainly. Well, thanks
All right.
and good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, bye.
Take care.
Yep.
Boom. Yeah, we needed that, dude. Let's hustle out there now. Here we are on Dolan's property, and this is sweet. We get to just basically walk right across this nice field. We're definitely on the birds here. Feels good. We've not seen feathers like this whole trip. All right. Windy as heck tonight. Super fun night. By far the most fun night we've had so far. We heard a gobble. I think that's our first Oregon gobble, which is kind of pathetic for like 3 days of solid hunting, but is what it is. Saw a jake, I think, or a hen, maybe. But I mean, it was unfortunate. The thing was right where I wanted to set up, but I felt like it was a little too open to set up there. So, you know, I mean, it was within 5 minutes of sitting down. We got all our stuff set up. Boom, there's a jake. Working the fence line right by the horse gate. And I mean, what was crazy is there was a coyote at the same time working in towards our decoys. I think the jake saw that and got nervous, but I should have set up over by that gate to begin with. And then of course, after the jake disappeared, we wait like 30 minutes maybe. I got cold feet and literally moved the blind over to where it should have been. Set up the decoys again, but nothing else moved, nothing else came. And then of course, right at the very last minute, we heard a couple gobbles. I called back, he gobbled. It was exciting, but I think he was already up in his roost tree. We'll come back tomorrow morning at like 4:30 in pitch black, set up on the same spot, I believe. It's a tough decision. I mean, that's one of the things I love about turkey hunting is it's all decisions. Decisions. That's a fun part, high stakes here. Don't have a lot of time left. So we're gonna set up in that same corner, and man, hopefully they come in tomorrow. See you tomorrow. It's 4:30. We're actually up at 4, but it's a bit of a drive to get to our hunting spot. We're trying to sneak out there in the dark this morning, get set up. I really think we're gonna get a turkey today, hopefully even this morning. I think it's pretty high odds. We've got a great spot now. So just saw a fox run across the road. There's some wildlife. I think it's supposed to rain around 10, maybe 9 a.m., 10 a.m. I haven't checked the weather this morning, but that's what it was saying yesterday. So they should be moving until then, you know. So we're gonna set up in that back corner where we were yesterday, where we saw that turkey. Set up right next to the gate where we should have been. And time to get one. We're due. little update here. We've been sitting here all morning. We had some gobblers come out. I think they were fighting in the field at one point behind us. And suddenly they just showed up in our field. There was actually 3 of them. It was awesome. I mean, they were in here for like 3 hours. Super, super slow. I mean, there was 2 hens and 3 gobblers. They were trying to just flaunting and fanning out and strutting around these hens. And they just worked around really, really slow. They were walking along this fence line, working, eating, trying to get the hens' attention. I mean, hours of this, just agonizing. They were kind of back in these willows, coming out of the willows. And then finally they came in. They were less than 100 yards away. I had my rangefinder. And they got to this little patch of where there's some dead grass. And for whatever reason, I mean, the river is right down here. But for whatever reason, instead of just keep continuing to follow the river, something spooked them. One of the toms just got nervous, walked straight across the middle of the field. All the other ones traipsed right behind it. And they ended up way back in that corner now, and they filtered into those willows, and we lost sight of them. Super disappointing. It's like, what, 10 o'clock? It's just exactly 10 o'clock right now. Whew. Thought for sure we had them. At least one of them. It was really pretty. There was a Miriam, there was a Rio, there was another one I couldn't quite tell what it was, but it was big. And, you know, they'd seen our decoys on and off throughout this whole time. It wasn't the decoy setup. I don't know what triggered them to get spooked. Maybe somebody was fishing in the river, but I don't know. We'll sit another hour and a half, and then we got to go to the campsite and pay another camping fee to stay there another night. But yeah, it was a huge bummer. I mean, it's just difficult. So it's starting to rain a little bit too. It doesn't help. We'll be back this afternoon. Gate's like way over here somewhere. I think it's right there. They're like walking this way. There's one loner over here, and then like a big pack of them over there. Right on that fence line, dude. We've been sitting there right behind them right now. shot was a little bit low and back, unfortunately. But, you know, it looked like he might have just laid down over there. I see the arrow, so we're gonna start there and pick that up and then go over to where I think he is. Really hoping to put him down. These broadheads have a 2-inch cutting blade. You definitely want a center mass shot, not one that's back like that, but you know, if you hit them, usually it's pretty good. But we'll find out. Let's go check it out. We definitely got some feathers. Not a lot of blood, it just looks like feathers. I mean, there's basically no blood. I don't know if that was a kill shot, honestly. Whew. Boy, that's a bummer. I'm gonna go check over there just to make sure, but it's looking less and less good. So that's pretty big cutting diameter, but must have just fluffed him in the back. Got a lot of blood. Blood trail. Oh, look at that. I just found the turkey. We were following those blood trails and I come across on just like a couple of logs, and the second I stepped on it, just down a little crevice, took off. Before I could even get the camera up, he was already in the air. He got a lot higher than I thought he was gonna, but he got to like the brush line or a little higher and just flew straight back. He's way back there. Like you said, he'll probably end up dying back there if he does. So what we'll do is we'll just head back to the blind. I'll do some more hunting, I guess. I mean, you can shoot 2 of them here because they're so overpopulated. It's a bummer, but you know, just gotta keep trying. Looks like it's just a lone hen. Just about 60 or 70 yards away. Better than nothing. It's a good start to this spot. Sat here this morning. They kind of were walking around behind us, but then they went off a different way. So, while they're still back in the woods, I'm gonna walk back down this fence line and actually reset up the blind in those trees over there where they work during the day. So I think if we do it quick enough, while they're still in the trees, hopefully they won't pick us up. And even if they do, you know, if after things calm down, I'm hoping they start working that fence. There's a lot of gobbling over there. There's gobbling back there. There's 2 gobblers over here this morning. So we have a lot going on. Of course, the jakes around here gobble too, so it's confusing. But we're gonna go set up a different spot and give it one last chance. gonna run over there. Worth a try. They saw me pretty quick. I think. Did you even see them? I didn't see them at all. Then when I got up there, they were like way back there. Did you see them over there running away? Yeah, they must
focused on you.
They must have seen me pretty quick because they'd gone back. I was hoping they'd stick on those trees, but they'd gone back and went way over. And I popped my head over and they saw me pop my head over and they were running in the woods. So worth a try. All right. We tried. I gave a little last-ditch effort there. I took the GoPro, put it on my bow, walked down the riverbank, worked some of these trees because the other day I came up on some turkeys. I came up the riverbank ledge, and there was one right there, and I probably could have shot it if I was ready for it. It didn't happen this time. I got some good audio where they were just chipping like crazy. I mean, I came over the edge, and it sounded like popcorn going off. There were so many turkeys around, but they were in really thick brush, and eventually they saw me and whatnot, and I was hoping they'd come back over here into these fields, but they just didn't. So in all, it was pretty fun, you know. It's good to get one, and unfortunately, even though we lost that one, we had a great time. It's a lot of work with the bow. We could have gotten several turkeys with the gun, so it goes to show you how much harder this is, especially when you're just trying to set up from scratch. We'll be back trying to get more turkeys next year. For now, let's head over to the Columbia River. Keep posted because we're gonna do some white sturgeon fishing. They literally get up to 1,000 pounds, sometimes even 1,400 pounds apparently. The goal is to catch a 7-footer at least, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching.